Chapter 1 of Mrs. Skagg's Husbands and Other Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Nick Bulka. Mrs. Skagg's Husbands and Other Stories by Bret Harte. Chapter 1, Part 1, West. The sun was rising in the foothills, but for an hour the black mass of Sierra eastward of Angels had been outlined with fire, and the conventional morning had come 2 hours before with the down coach from Placerville. The dry, cold, dewless California night still lingered in the long canyons and folded skirts of Table Mountain. Even on the mountain road the air was still sharp, and that urgent necessity for something to keep out the chill, which sent the barkeeper sleepily along his bottles and wine glasses at the station, obtained all along the road. Perhaps it might be said that the first stir of life was in the bar rooms. A few birds twittered in the sycamores at the roadside, but long before that glasses had clicked and bottles gurgled in the saloon of the Mansion House. This was still lit by a dissipated-looking hanging lamp, which was evidently the worse for having been up all night, and bore a singular resemblance to a faded reveller of Angels, who even then sputtered and flickered in his socket in the armchair below it, a resemblance so plain that when the first level sunbeam pierced the window-pane, the barkeeper, moved by a sentiment of consistency and compassion, put them both out together. Then the sun came up haughtily. When it had passed the eastern ridge it began, after its habit, to lord it over Angels, sending the thermometer up 20 degrees in as many minutes, driving the mules to the sparse shade of corrals and fences, making the red dust incandescent, and renewing its old imperious aggression on the spiked bosses of the convex shield of pines that defended Table Mountain. Thither by 9 o'clock all coolness had retreated, and the outsides of the upstage plunged their hot faces in its aromatic shadows as in water. It was the custom of the driver of the Wingdam coach to whip up his horses and enter Angels at that remarkable pace which the woodcuts in the hotel bar-room represented to credulous humanity as the usual rate of speed of that conveyance. At such times the habitual expression of disdainful reticence and lazy official severity which he wore on the box became intensified as the loungers gathered about the vehicle, and only the boldest ventured to address him. It was the Honorable Judge Beeswinger, member of Assembly, who today presumed, perhaps rashly, on the strength of his official position. "Any political news from below, Bill?" he asked, as the latter slowly descended from his lofty perch, without, however, any perceptible coming down of mien or manner. "Not much," said Bill, with deliberate gravity. "The President of the United States hasn't been hisself since you effused that seat in the Cabinet. The general feeling in political circles is one of regret." Irony, even of this outrageous quality, was too common in Angels to excite either a smile or a frown. Bill slowly entered the bar-room during a dry, dead silence, in which only a faint spirit of emulation survived. "You didn't bring up that agent of Rothschild's this trip?" asked the barkeeper, slowly, by way of vague contribution to the prevailing tone of conversation. "No," responded Bill, with thoughtful exactitude. "He said he couldn't look into that claim of Johnson's without first consulting the Bank of England." The Mr. Johnson here alluded to being present as the faded reveller the barkeeper had lately put out, and as the alleged claim notoriously possessed no attractions whatever to capitalists, expectation naturally looked to him for some response to this evident challenge. He did so by simply stating that he would take sugar in his, and by walking unsteadily toward the bar, as if accepting a festive invitation. To the credit
Sample complete. Ready to continue?